Welcome to this free immigration help channel. In this video, I am answering some more of your questions. Now, I have these videos labeled Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and so forth. So if you have asked a question in the comments in any of the videos, make sure to go through these videos and find your answer. Find your answer there. This way I can answer much more questions much faster, much more efficiently, and possibly help other people too. So let's get into it. Question number 1 from Mike Dukas. I just submit my change address a while ago because yesterday my update said that my green card is already ordered and they are about to send it to me. Well, congratulations, that's great news. But my question is, in the instructions it says print the form and send to. Do I still need to send it to them now when all I need is from them to send it to my new address, to send me the card? Thank you. No, whenever it comes to the change of address, both USPS and USCIS, you don't really need to do any forms. Now, there are forms. There is an actual paper form for the USCIS for the address change, but it's a much faster process to fill this form online. So just go ahead and do that. Honestly, in your particular situation, I would recommend just doing the change of address for USPS and not for USCIS, because currently you have it's very close to the completion of the case, and you don't want to mess around with your address and prolong the application because it's already in the production. The card is already in production. So just change the USPS address to make sure that you get your new card, and I would change the USCIS address whenever I actually receive my card. Again, just to be on the safe side so that you don't mess with the application process because it is already so close. All right, next question from Ruby Butler. Thank you so much for making this video. You are very, very welcome. Next question from Sewa Nyana Moses. Can one apply for asylum when they're outside USA or living in their native country? No, you cannot apply for asylum whenever you are. So basically the asylum is only, the definition of asylum is whenever you are in the United States of America and you are applying from within the United States of America. That's the whole definition of asylum. You cannot apply for it when you are outside of the country. It just doesn't work. Now the alternative would be a refugee, but for the refugee you would have to have some kind of program available for the country that you're in, some kind of a refugee program. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's go to the next one. Watch addiction, watch reviews. All right. How much BDO immigration lawyer charged to do this in for me? And the question was asked on how to extend the visa. That's I-539. Now, I cannot answer that question. I'm not an immigration attorney in any way, and I never had to do that with an attorney myself. I would expect these fees range somewhere between a couple $100 and a couple $1,000. Really depends on an attorney. There is really no set fee schedule for whenever it comes to the attorney fees. Keep that in mind. However, in this video, in the one that you commented on, I go through step by step on how to actually applying and filing the I-539. Not saying that you do not need an attorney, but go through the video and see. Maybe you will be able to do it yourself without the attorney. All right, let's move on to the next one. Dana Sekar. Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce these anymore. Thank you thank you. It was very useful. Save me one additional application fee. Example I-539A. You're welcome. God bless. All right. Well, I'm glad I was able to help you with my video. You're very, very welcome. Next one. Hi, can I travel to Philippines on a tourist visa with a valid U.S. refugee travel document? Please let me know. Yes, absolutely. You can definitely travel on a valid refugee travel document. In fact, that's what it is for. It is for traveling to back and forth from whatever countries that you're planning to travel to. The only thing that I would mention is here is where since you have the refugee travel document, it means you are either an asylee or a refugee. Now, if you are a refugee or asylee from Philippines, obviously it's highly not recommended to travel to the country where you came back from. Now, I understand some circumstances might change, things might change, some danger that you had experienced before, you no longer experience it, circumstances change. However, if you don't want to risk sacrifice your status, your current status, do not take a risk. And even if you're not going back to the country where you came from as a refugee or asylee, let's say Philippines is not that, be very careful, because the U.S. refugee travel document, if you look in the instructions, it will tell you that it does not guarantee the entry back to the country. Very important. Keep that in mind. Not trying to scare you, but just a little bit of kind of a warning. All right, next one. Damn, just do it with lawyer, because sometimes papers get lost or you miss things sometimes. I have someone whose mail got lost and he's still fitting for his green card 10 years. Well, I mean, your advice is kind of useless, because I've seen documents get lost with lawyers, and in fact lawyers being responsible for lost immigration documents. So really, just because you have a lawyer is absolutely no indication that you're somehow, the documents are not going to get lost or something's not going to go wrong. This is a personal choice and a personal responsibility whenever it comes to doing stuff like this. Whenever you're doing the application, whether you're doing it by yourself or you're doing it with a lawyer, it's really a personal choice and a personal responsibility. So silly comments like this, guys, don't pay attention to them. It's really up to you. You have to decide. You have to make the choice for yourself. All right, let's move on to the next one. I don't have ties to my country, Italy. Can I get a US visa? I don't want to try an ESTA. Luca, it's very hard for me to understand what you're trying to ask. You don't have ties to your country, Italy. Can you get a US visa? So, if you don't have ties to your country, what is your current... where are you a citizen of right at the moment? Are you not a citizen of Italy? If you're not a citizen of Italy, what are you a citizen of? Because that's what kind of would determine if you can go and get a US visa, depending on where you are. And I'm not entirely sure what ESTA is. Please, if you can, provide some more details. That would be very helpful. All right, let's move on to the next one. I knew and know some illegals that work and get a 1099 with a tax ID. When Obama was around, they illegally got their legal papers. I have seen some cases where basically what happens is in situations like this is an immigrant who's currently in the illegal status, undocumented, at some point he or she, they were in a legal status in which they were allowed to get the Social Security and employment authorization documents. And a lot of times you can see those situations with J1 exchange students. So they come in here, they are obviously legal here because they have their visas for however 3-4 months. They get their Social Security numbers, they get their employment authorization documents, and then they continue working. And after their visa expires, obviously they become illegal now, but they still have the Social Security and they still have the jobs, so they're still working. And a lot of times the problem is that employers, they don't have a way to verify. That's why USCIS, they're working on a lot of different ways to make sure that the employers can verify the legal status of the employee, of the immigrant employee. But that's really the situation where you would see that, where an illegal immigrant would get 1099. Somebody who came in here illegally, like jumped the border or something like that, they don't have any kind of documents, so there is no way for them to do that 1099 and stuff. So most of the times it is the immigrants that come in here legally, and then they overstay their stay, and now they're illegal, and that's where you would see. All right, so next question. But what if you are under 18? What is selective service system? Okay, so if you're under 18, obviously that does not apply to you. The selective service system is between ages 18 and I believe 27, if I'm not mistaken. But all the information is in the video. If you're under 18, obviously that does not apply to you. Next question. My form I-30 was received on 9/30/2020. Okay, so last year. U.S. citizen filing for spouse. All right. It's being processed at Nebraska Service Center. The processing time say 2 to 7 months. It's been over 7 months, and when I try to submit an inquiry, it keeps telling me that I can't file an inquiry because my case is still within processing time. But it's not. I don't get it. Are those dates actually accurate? Okay, so unfortunately, the dates that you see on those processing times they're not very accurate. I would give it another month or two before you try to submit that case inquiry. It should go through. However, I wouldn't put too much hope on that inquiry, unfortunately, because whenever it comes to submitting those case inquiries, most of the times they're just boilerplate, and the response to those inquiries is just, oh, we're still processing your case. That's it. Just wait. So unfortunately, this is really, at the end of the day, it's a waiting game, and just have some patience. I know it can be frustrating, but at the end of the day, it really is all about patience. Let's move on to the next one. So while in Canada, I have to get the US job I apply for, then the employer allows me to apply for the EAD. Then I can move there and start working when I get the EAD. That's all I need, the EAD. Okay, so you're in Canada and you have to get the US job apply for, and then the employer allows me to apply for the EAD. So basically you have to have a job offer from the employer in the USA. That's important. And then you have to accept that job offer, and now you have a contract, you have an employment contract between the US employer and yourself, and then you can start applying for all of these documents like EAD and stuff like that. Obviously you'll probably need to get some kind of visa from Canada because you are in Canada, some kind of work visa for the United States. I'm not 100% sure how it works with Canada, but with most other countries, you have to have a work visa that the employer sponsors you. But that's really the process. All right, so let's move on to the next one. I'll try to get this whole page done, and that will be it for today. All right, I have tried to send online inquiry for my I-751, and it's always showing error occurred for the past few weeks. I have sent last year, and I have no problem. My case status has been showing ready to be scheduled for an interview since 2009, April, but no further progress. And how to check USCIS. So for interviews since 2009, April, but no further progress. So since 2009, that's 11 years your case has been ready to be scheduled for an interview, and still nothing, huh? Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's a little bit too crazy, a little bit too long. I would recommend trying to schedule an appointment with USCIS. See if you can schedule an InfoPass appointment and visit the office and talk to somebody and see what's going on. It's been 11 years. 11 years, 12 years now. Oh my God, 12 years. So yeah, you definitely need to start moving on that case and trying to find out. If you cannot find out by yourself, I would highly recommend hiring an immigration attorney in this case, because it's just been way too long. All right, let's move on to the next one. It's helpful. I'm glad it is helpful. Next, my son is minor, 15 years old. Can I include him to my I-539 application online, or have to apply him separately? So the question was asked on how to extend visa. You can definitely include him in the application, but it's going to be a paper application. It's not going to be an online application. You have to do the paper application and then include a I-539A That's an additional application that goes for your relatives, whoever you're applying with. All right, let's move on to the next one. Hi, my DS expired on April 14th, and right now I'm on my 30-day period to leave the country. I applied online for a change of status from J1 to B1 on March 10th, but I haven't received any answer other than case was received. Can I stay waiting for an answer after the 30-day period, or should I leave the country? Thank you very much. I'm kind of panicking. Well, here is the thing, Claudia. I've seen so many situations like this. People apply for the extension of stay, for a change of status, and then they don't receive the reply, and now they don't know what to do. So here is what I recommend whenever it comes to situations like this. If you can leave the country before waiting for this whole answer, do it. Don't take a risk, all right? Because you don't want to end up in a situation where you're sitting here, you're waiting, and you got a denial, all right? Now, bad, very bad. You don't want to be in a situation like this. But however, if you are in a situation where you cannot leave the country and you have to wait, well, you cannot leave the country and you have to wait. So you kind of don't have other options. But if you do have an option to go back and not wait for this whole process that you applied for to go through, do it. Don't take risks. It's much better that way. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm a bi ex-Muslims. I'm not sure what that means. From Saudi Arabia. I'm hopeless. This is hard. All right. So what is your question? I need a question. All right. Let's move on to the next one. What can I do if I can't find I-94 online for my mom? We do have the arrival stamp on the passport, and there is a travel record on the I-94 side. But there is no recent I-94, even though she flew to Chicago. So unfortunately, it's very unreliable, that system, I-94, pulling out the records. It's very, very unreliable, unfortunately. A lot of people are having trouble with it. So what I do recommend is if you probably need this information for whatever application that you're doing, just fill out the application the best of the knowledge that you have. You have some records, you have some dates, so just use that as best as you can. And that's it. Don't worry about it because you just can't do anything about the system, and unfortunately, it's not a very reliable system. A lot of people are having problems with it. So hopefully, this video was some useful answers, some very good questions I had. If you do have questions, go ahead, ask them on whatever video. I will try to go through every week and do these videos and answering the questions. Also, if you have any specific requests for applications, for the process, for interviews that has to do with the immigration, again, you can ask them in one of the comments in one of the videos, and I will try to address those as well. Thanks for watching.